And we are recording. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome to Conserve Your Energy. My name is Mr. Adasta. I am here once again. And today we have a very special um guest who is not just a guest, but this is my partner in crime. This gentleman and I, we spend a lot of time building offline and just sharing about life and being a support base for each other. And so I'm gonna let you go ahead and introduce yourself, Mad BlackMan, and, and then we will go from there. What is your name? Tell us who you are briefly, and then let's rock and roll.
Well, I guess I chose Matt Blackman because the things that you and I both kind of see in society, and it's like you don't run into individuals like us that have platforms or listen to or whatever. Originally, I'm from the South. I'm a country boy, if you can't tell from the way I speak. But yeah, straight out of Alabama. I'm a Bama boy. That's really it. 80 baby, veteran, father, son, uncle. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Elaborate on some of that, bro. Like, don't just let that go. You said veteran, father. Come on, talk to us.
well, shoot, it depends on how we want to take the show today. We want to dedicate it to these little girls we got today. Like, we can get on that. Being a father, man, things been kind of rough. You know.
Well, yeah, we're gonna tap into that. We're gonna tap into that. But before that, give us a little bit about if you don't mind, a little bit about your veteran background.
Oh, I was
Um,
in the Navy. Did my boot camp in Chicago. Basically, I joined because it's really like I didn't have any other options. At least, in my young mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, didn't know that there was grants, Pell grants, and things of that nature to go to college. I did Job Corps as well, Albany, Georgia. Pretty dope Job Corps. They were strict but lenient at the same time. That's where I got my welding certifications at, and like a lot of men, like we're based in logic. So in my head space was, if I do this here in Job Corps, then that would give me X, Y, and Z to do in the Navy. So I wanted to be a hull technician, and Cuba Gooding Jr. wanted me to be an underwater welder. You know what I'm saying? I thought about it and was just like, nah. But welding seemed to be, listening to Bob Marley coming up. I had a lot of people that was into the '60s movement or was born after the '60s movement. So um, listening to a lot of Bob Marley and a lot of black men that were in the steel mills with GMC, Ford, just working with steel, period, out of the South or Ohio. It's like my family split and everybody basically went into steel or had businesses of their own. Um, for
so
the for the
you come from an entrepreneurial background, but people that work with their hands.
facts.
They're not afraid to work with their hands and not afraid to get dirty. And I just want to say, I want to preface this conversation. One of the things when you and I we were discussing, doing podcasts and things of that nature, and we were talking about where do we really want to go with this? What do we want to say with this? And then I realized, I said, you know what? I have a lot of special friends. I think blessings come
You do.
when you are able to bless others. You know what I'm saying? And when you're able to shine the light on others. And you are one of those individuals. And so I consider them, like I said in the very first one, I consider them the one percenters. It's not based on economic status. It's not based on finances. It's based on having knowledge of self and understanding of where you are in this life and what it means to exist. And one of the things that I've always thought of, and a friend of mine kind of pointed it out today, but we don't realize that we literally from the conception. We were literally one of millions of sperm that made it down that tube. We made it down the tube. We exited the tube.
Our
We
first
entered.
win, literally.
Right. Our first win. You are a winner from the gate. You are a winner from the gate. If you come out here and you standing on the corner talking about our work for food, I mean, I'm not
Enough
stepping
said.
on nobody's head, but I'm saying like you're a winner. You're a winner. So you are the 1%, and you have a story, and you have something special to talk about. So I don't want to give too much because you and I are going to be regular, in this platform right here. But I don't know what's on your mind today. We've been talking about. It seems like every time we have a conversation, it's like, well, we need to put that on the pod. We wasting a lot of good content.
Energy, yeah. It
And
it, it
what's on
reminds
your
me.
mind
It,
right
re-
now?
it reminds me. Well, just right now, what just hit in my head. It reminds me of a YouTuber. He's like, "Deep waters, my friends. Deep waters. Let's dive." And every time we get on the phone, it's like deep waters. You
Deep
know.
waters. And then we stop and we go, damn, that should have been on the pod. We should have been recording that. So we're here. We're recording it. And what's on your mind? What's heavy on your heart? We can talk about fatherhood. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about
You
at
know
this.
what? Actually, because I've never really, you're really good at doing the host thing, even in like outside, just regular conversation, kind of like sitting back and feeling the vibe of someone else. I really want to talk about entrepreneurship because you're an entrepreneur yourself, and like I'm in a hotel right now. The truck that broke down, the other truck broke down. The truck's just like everything just going crazy. Got a contract that's supposed to be popping off in Wyoming. Don't know if I'm gonna be able to pick up on that because like,
But
man,
you are okay. So you see, you speeding because give them a little bit of that. You're black. You're what's the proper way to phrase it? You're a trucker. What is
yeah.
the proper way to phrase it?
Well, I ain't trying to be weird to anybody that's listening, but I prefer Negro. We grew up on like kind of pronounce it. There'd be a few people in the family like pronunciate it right. Stop saying, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You're a Negro. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah, I'm a Negro. It was actually weird to me when the NAACP in the '90s came out on, because their headquarters is in Atlanta, where both of us spent a lot of our life. And it was just really weird to see them come on and like, we have changed it from Negro to colored, and now we're black people. And they had these big old Kool-Aid smiles. And my grandfather was like, yo, they selling us out. Like they're making you forget who you are. And I was just like, I had no idea until like my 30s, like what that even meant. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then
So to you, it's important that Negro be one of those words that we never forget that remains in our vernacular. Okay, okay. So
because hmm, I'm sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
I said you're a Negro. You're a
Yeah, yeah,
Negro trucker.
yeah,
Tell
yeah,
us
yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit about that before we delve into the entrepreneurship thing, because I don't, granted, there's probably, I don't know if there's millions of black truckers, but I'm sure there's at least thousands of black truckers. What is that experience like? What is it like to be a black trucker?
So I know just from our previous conversations, like you hadn't really run into it that much with the racial profiling or whatever. And I was
Okay.
saying to you, I was like, "Yo, it must be an Atlanta thing because it was weird to me when I joined the Navy and I ran into racism. Like I was befuddled, bro. Like they were, I took my shahada, before I joined, and then so they were like, "You're the reason why we're at war right now," and I'm like I don't even have an Abdul, uh, Shabazz or Muhammad name. Like I'm keeping, like I don't even understand. So that right there kind of triggered me. You know what I'm saying? And through prayer, I got over it. But when
So
I
you're
got
a
into
practicing
trucking,
Muslim.
hmm,
You're a practicing Muslim.
correct.
Okay. Okay.
So, well, not a practicing Muslim. No, I'm more spiritual than anything. Now at this day and era, it's kind of like as you read and read on, it's like all of these things are one and the same. It's just everybody's got a different flavor.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Everybody's got the same prophets. Everybody's got Jesus, and everybody can fight or whatever they want to about the Jesus situation. Everybody's got one and one and only. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. So when you talk about the main three, it's just kind of like, like, do we really need to dig into that? Do we really need to? Because it's still the
Really
same.
got
David, you know what I'm saying? Mary, it's the same. Like, chill out. But anyway, trucking. Back to trucking.
it right.
Uh, when I first started, like, I wasn't thinking nothing of it, and uh, my trainer, he had a racial issue. So it's like, maybe it's a spiritual journey that I have to go, right? Which he didn't have one against me, but he had actually just got off of I want to say an 8-year bid. And I'm like, well, why did you have to do time? Like, what happened? This, that, and the third. And he was like, oh, it was some high school homies that looked like you. I ain't trying to be funny because I don't care. But they kept like beating me up and teasing me because I was like the only white dude in the hood, this, that, and the third. One day I got sick of it and I was blazing up some meth and took some bird shot, put it in their chest. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, so he ended up having to do 8 years for attempted for attempted, you know what I'm saying?
Well, they
So
live. They live.
we're going down the road, right? And I'm a new driver, right? This is like 10 years ago. I'm a new driver, and dad going, somebody cut me off or whatever, but I could still do the speed limit, Western Express, right? So I still got in front of him and kept it moving. He called me the N-word with the ER at the end, right? And he was like, he was more mad than me. He was like, we're not taking that, yada, 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 yada. Tell him to pull over now. We about to stretch him all the way out. And I'm like, okay, all right, well, it's whatever. So I'm game. Like, so some martial artists that I was around in Gwinnett when I was younger too. So I was like, I'm down, whatever. But I'm not understanding. Conserve your energy, right? I'm like, I don't know why you all on the rah rah, right? So we pull up behind them. 3 trucks pull up behind us, right?
Wow.
So the fair skinned fellow, Caucasian fellow, was like, "Oh no, you done brought your partners. I'm gonna have to call the chapter." So I'm guessing he was one of those K whatever
K.
members.
K.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The three
And
K.
Karen, the Karen group. But
Right.
I hear this. She had to be a big girl. She sounded way too cute. She got on. It's like, nah, baby, you was talking all that smack. Why don't you get up on out of that truck? We just trying to see a show, baby. He was like,
Wow.
no, y'all trying to gang up on me. That's how y'all do. Like, so from that point on, I was just like, this is just out here, and this is how people just think and believe. You know what I'm saying? This is how they, I don't know, deal with emotions, or they're so delusional, brainwashed, suffering from cognitive dissonance. NLP just works in them so easily. But I did
But
that for about.
there was never a point, because I'm assuming that these are things that are transpiring on a daily basis. There was never a point that you said, "Nah, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this."
With the
Or
trucking, or what do you mean?
trucking with the trucking. When you're dealing
I
with,
took my CB out because they would like do verbal attacks. You know what I'm saying? And my energy, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not. uh yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'm not weak, you know what I'm saying? But it felt like I was weak because I couldn't conserve my energy over time. It was literally like, all right, go ahead and pull over. Let's go ahead and see who can stretch you out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it got to the point where, and I won all those. I'm gonna just put it that way. But then it got to the point where it was like, hey, go on, pull over. And they'll pull over and I'll be like, hey, dumbass, it's just like, hey, drive past them. Like, I'm not on that wave no more. Meow. There
they
you go.
weren't able to take you out of who it was that you are. They weren't
Correct.
able to change. Okay, so
Correct.
you continue. And how long have you been driving a truck now?
About 10 years.
About 10 years. And if you don't mind me asking, like, what type of goods, do you deliver? And are
Oh,
you
I do
nationwide?
machinery and military. Machinery, military, so agriculture. So that whole thing that happened with the bridge in Baltimore, that's really affected me. Um, yeah, military, building equipment. I've always worked. You know what I'm saying? Hard labor.
Okay, okay. So a life that's on the road, and I'm assuming that you don't do it at this juncture out of necessity. You do it because you genuinely enjoy doing this.
So I would say one of two because I'm a father, and these kids are getting in their teenage years and they cutting the daggone up, man. They
So you
cutting up, man.
want to be present. You want to be present and be
Yeah, I
along.
want to be present, but because the way they spending money and not so there's kind of like three stages kind of thing with raising the kids up, and with them being in their teenage years, it's like, okay, look, we're getting a joint bank account. I'm gonna put 5,000 in there. I'm gonna put 8,000 in there. Let's see how you figure money out. Let's see how you put money here, this, there, and everything. And then they all girls and they chasing daggone eggplant. And it's like, I didn't know I raised simps. Like, what's going on here? You
Oh, so
know?
you saying that not being present physically has had some impact? You do you believe if you were present that you would be able to be more impactful on their development? And so right
Correct.
now, so
And
when
now
you
being
see,
forced to be here while they've been spinning all types of bread up, where I'm trying to get them to understand, like, okay, do you need to have a business? Are you prepared for that? Do you need to go to trade school? Are you prepared for that? Do you need to go to college? Well, number one, you got to understand finance and the way money works and how money needs to work for you versus working for it. I mean, because even if it's a trade that you get into, in my thought process, you still need to have the understanding that that money needs to work for you. But they so busy chasing eggplant because them hormones going through them.
mm,
So now I got to come up off the truck a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Like, what's going on? I got a contract that's supposed to pop off over here. I got one truck that I'm supposed to send over there, another truck that I'm supposed to send over because I'm still working in a truck, right? And trying to get to that final step of being able to step away and like, all right, now I'm just managing this stuff from this keyboard here. Now I'm just, you know what I'm saying?
so are you saying then that? Well, let me ask you one of two things. Two things. One, if someone were to come up to you and say, you know what, I'm interested in getting into trucking, would you give them a positive review? Would you say, you know what, I don't have anything really bad to say about trucking. I think you can make a lot of money. It's exciting if you enjoy travel and being on the road. Or would you be more cautious in how you approached your, describing whether or not they should actually jump into this type of venture? It's not for everyone. What would your
So that would be my first jump is like, how well is your relationship with the woman that you're with? And I run into guys that are like, I'm not with a woman. Like, I'm just working on me, which it seems to be the wave right now, especially with melanated men. We're not really caring about punani. We're into the development of ourselves and our own finances, and then if it comes, it comes. Which, to me, biblically, from my understanding, that's actually the right way to be. Um, you're supposed to be on your grind and in the process of building, just building, and then the nation will come to you. That's the woman, because you're, well, whatever. So I'll assess that, and then I'll assess their not really financial literacy, but like the amount of money that they have, if they're open to it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll tell them numbers. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a difference between gross, net, overhead, and all these other little things, and the amount of income. So it really just depends on the individual. If they're serious, but they don't have at least $5,000 to $10,000 in their bank account, then I'll break down a whole, like, well, you really need to think about this before you get into it, because $5,000 to $10,000 shouldn't be. I hate to say it to anyone that's listening, it shouldn't be shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be upset to have an account under those parameters at the age of 20, 23, 24. You should be really upset to not have that. And then I'll tell them to pay attention to how much fuel they pay, when they go into the shop, how much money is spent on it, and then kind of get an assessment. Like, are you prepared for that? Because just for you to get an oil change is $700. Are you
wow.
prepared for that?
So you're saying that there needs to be some type of economic skill set in place already, real world understanding of how finances work and how economics work, because it's not
Yes and
everyone's.
no, because I'm lazy. Yes and no. So for my head, when I did it, so I was at Western, and this where I'm at, 10 years ago, or where I should be, I should say, was where I always wanted to be. But like doing numbers and all that, I've always been good at that, right? But just being lazy, I've always been good at that as well. Yeah, I've always been good at that. So, so I just spent 3-4 years doing doing basically like data sheets on I don't know what's going on there. That's a little weird. Doing data sheets on like what is the amount of money that's spent on uh excuse me for a second here, I gotta figure this out. New light. All right. And it's still doing it. That's strange. Let's switch that out there. All right. Um and then I just make sure that I have that much into my account. And I just do it multiply it by three. So if $1,500 in fuel a week, plus whatever your lease payment may be, plus this or that will equate to within a month will equate to about $8,000 to $10,000. All right, so I need 30,000. So as long as I
A
got that
month.
30
A month.
what do you want to
You
call
just
it?
need reserves. You need reserves.
I don't even know what the heck it's called right now. My brain is just
Bank
like
account,
your overhead account.
overhead account. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And I need 3 months of that because what happens if I come off the truck because I have a repair or something? Yeah, repair. And then that means that I'll be out of the truck for about 2 or 3 months. But guess what? My lease is still due. Uh, my insurance is still due. My tire's not turning. I'm not earning. Bills are still due. So where am I going to get that money from? So that was my lazy
So
aspect.
would you say that most truckers that may be their primary, but they most of them have a backup form of income or another revenue stream that's coming in?
Most of them, no.
No,
No, this was
so they're not prepared for emergencies in most cases.
well, so the country boys that I would run into that would be cool, you know what I'm saying? Like so this was I'm about to just get rid of this light. Like this is too much. It's doing Can you see the strobing?
I can see it.
You can see it flashing?
Hmm.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm like, yeah, what is that about?
I can
All right,
definitely.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna just turn it up a little bit and it's still doing it. That's irritating. But anyway, I would say the country guys that were like really cool and they'd be like, "You're not one of them," right? I don't know if you've ever had one of those kind of conversations with a Caucasian person, and they just tell me that the reason why a lot of people are so mad and angry seeing us, the Arabs, the Asians, because this is the way that they used to become rich. I met one dude; he was in his 40s. He drove trucks for I think he said 12, 15 years, and then retired after that. Like at the age of 21 to like 35, and he was just done. He could just sit at the house because that's how good money was. It doesn't exist like that anymore.
Mm,
Like
mm.
these numbers that they're telling me, like I want to fight somebody, bro. I had to like look away, like because I'm trying to conserve your energy. Like it's like yeah, it'd be easy to do like 7 grand a week, 8 grand a week. I'm like yeah, in gross, I'm doing that now. He's like, no, brother, gross, we're talking about 13, 14,000. We're bringing home 7, 8,000 a week. That doesn't, and I've fought to try to find that. It's it's out here if your daddy was a truck driver, daddy's daddy was a truck driver, and then y'all have built some type of relationship with an individual where they'll still give you that old pay, right? But for the most part, like if you're just coming into it and then you're dealing with brokers, agents, load boards, you're not running into that.
So now that we've kind of got a good understanding and background on the trucking aspect of your life, it has impacted other areas of your life, and those are the areas that are appears to be having um, emotional and mental consequences. Is it?
Mm,
Would you say that being away, being on the road, having nothing but time to think, but at the same time being a father, raising uh, daughters from a distance, you know, um, how have you been able to deal with that? How have you been able, aside from the conversations that we've been fortunate enough to have, where we kind of lean on each other as friends, but how have you been able to actually deal with with those shifts mentally and emotionally?
Pay for it. But anyway, um, you know,
I don't even know what that was. I'm staying out of that. I'm just saying, like, how have you been able to deal,
already.
you
I
know?
mean, we as creatures, I feel like we need a certain level of dopamine. We need a certain level of affection. We need a certain level of whatever. I mean, that'll probably go into the polygamy podcast that we'll probably have.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. See,
yeah, we as creatures, we have this itch that just needs to be itched. Some of us are on different levels than others. So like how I dealt with it, I mean, I got a dog. If you see me twisting in this chair, it's because she harassing me because she see that flashing light and she worried about it because I'm freaking out about it. I gotta pet her, calm her down. But I try to keep and sustain a good relationship with my daughters via since we have all this technology, right? But it just didn't work. The Because I know of your background, and I'm intentionally telling you this because I know of your background and like what you. Not saying I know exactly how y'all believe in y'all faith, but I enjoy it because I believe that not having the proper guidance or whatever what got me into the issues that I was having, and what's getting me out is finding someone that's equally yoked with me. That's just simply what it is. Not being equally yoked with the woman that I was with was causing me a lot of issues. So why I became a truck driver because I could have did the exact same thing as a welder. All I needed was a dually, acetylene torch, my gases, and then I could have been an entrepreneur on that aspect. Even with the blacksmithing or whatever, I could have, combined them both. Um, but I wanted to be away because I was just like, I can't raise these girls, be a father in the manner that you want me to be when you don't respect exactly who I am and the guidelines that I give these children. That's not too far fetched, just not too out of the box. Like I don't like seeing like my so for an example, which is probably extreme to a lot of people. I don't like being able to see my daughter's ass like in shorts or whatever or tights or whatever. So like I'm like, who do I expect, the child or you? Because I come home off the truck and these are clothes and attire you didn't bought her. Half her cheeks, she's 14, half her cheeks hanging out. What's going on with this? She's like, well, maybe if you was here, yada yada. This has been going on before I even got on the truck. It's the reason why I left in the first place. Because it just seems like I need to be a father from a
so
distance.
this is being used as a mechanism against you for your lack of being present, or is that the way that you're interpreting what the mother is doing?
So I don't know if you caught it. It was mental manipulation. It was I'm getting on the truck because I don't have the say so as a man in the first place. But I still want to be present. So the phrase that I used, because I remember 10 years ago, I said, maybe you can love me better from a distance than you can love me than me being here. Then there was another phrase, something like, maybe you can learn to respect me from a distance more than you respect me being underneath the household. So I'm gonna go and get this money, try this whole business entrepreneurial thing, and raise these kids in that manner. So then, when I get home, maybe things would be different. Maybe the house will actually be clean. Maybe, the dishes will actually be put away. Maybe the laundry will actually be folded and put it away. Like these little things here. Because if I'm making
Did you process this in, like these positions that you were taking, and then when you processed them, you came out of them saying, "Yeah, this is a healthy approach," or did you?
yes, I did, which is very unhealthy. Yes.
Okay,
Because I
okay.
was like, it's me. I gotta be the problem. I have to be the issue. There's
Do you
something
still
wrong
feel
with
that?
me. I'm expecting for too much.
You still feel that way?
Heck no. Heck no. No.
No.
Mm.
So the time away has allowed you time to process even further. So now you're like, you know what? This I've done what at least I felt was the proper thing to do as it relates to me being a man and what I'm supposed to put into this. And so going forward, did you have to make changes, or are you in the process of making changes? Is it
When you say changes, what do you mean?
like when you look at decisions that you made in the past, and you look at the results of those decisions that you made in the past? Did you say, okay, well, that didn't go as smooth as I thought it was? So after I've had time away, be it in the truck, be it on the road, be it in a hotel away from your family, um, did you feel like, well, in order for me to make right what was wrong, then there's going to be changes required on my part? Or is it one of those situations where you're like,
Mm.
you know what, I'm good?
No, no. I woke up and looked at myself in the mirror and said to myself, like, if your grandfather was still alive, you probably would get backhanded. You probably would get smacked around. Why are you being such a simp? That's what I said to myself.
Hmm.
Um, like, daggone, I'm sitting here super old school, right? And a lot of women to this day see that old school mentality, like what my grandfather put me through or allowed me to see, um, as something they don't want. But I mean, after they hear like the things that I did, they probably be baffled. But yeah, like my woman wasn't allowed to work seven in the last trimester. You're not working. She's like, well, what do we want to do? Well, I got, we're young then because my eldest is 17. Um, well, I got, 8, 10 grand saved up. I'll get 3 jobs. I'll sleep 4 hours a night. You're not working. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It is what it is. Just make sure that the home's taken care of. Make sure that things are good. And they weren't. And it's like, all you got to do is wash the dishes for 2 people. Like, you know what I'm saying? All you got to do is cook a little something for 2 people. And because of the way our society is, right? So this has been a whole 20-year process. And I don't mind saying it. I was in a bad place or whatever and had to grow up. But this became where, I would get to drinking and get like to yelling, you know what I'm saying? Not beating nobody up or nothing like that, but like, yo, I'm working 90 hours a week. Like, and come home to an empty stove, a empty refrigerator, and a pile of dishes. Like, rah, 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 rah. Yeah,
So
yeah, 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 yeah.
hold
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
So you pointed out these things that you desire. You pointed
yeah.
out, I'd like a hot cooked meal when I come home. You pointed out that I'd like the house to be, presentable when I come home. You pointed these things out, and then over time you realize that these things were not, attention was not being given to these particular areas.
Correct. So I'm
So then
saying it in
you
the manner
know,
we're saying it right now. And
so
then
you went into drinking though, and then the drinking.
no, at first it would be like the inflictions would get higher, you know what I'm saying? And then she would retaliate. She would, instead of washing the dishes, she would throw them away. And then I would come to cook because there's no hot food there and be like, where's the pots and pans? And she'd be like, well, I was so sick and tired of you talking about why there was dirty dishes in here. So I got rid of them.
That's next level. That's next level. I mean, like, no, for real, because that's there's a level of, and my point here is not to point out what's wrong with one person versus what's wrong with another person. That's just a level of toxicity that I myself would not even, I would never subject myself to that level of
But I
toxicity.
did for 20 years, bro, to the point where like therapy sessions, like what's wrong with me? And then finally, therapist like, there's nothing wrong with you. The only thing that's wrong with you is that you're so headstrong on making this work. when obviously it will not. Then I ran into Kevin Samuels, and he was talking about on that little session he was doing how black men will suffer like and just take it. And I'm like, yo, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. You know what? I'm gonna just go on the road and hopefully this chick just leaves me because I was raised without a father and just thought it was the stupidest thing in the world that you could bring something into this world and not want to be a part of them at all, which is kind of how my father was at a point. And I'm like, maybe I shouldn't just be fighting this. Maybe I shouldn't just be trying my best to be into this situation. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I should just take my kids. But I'm a man. How would I do that? I make more money. I'm more educated. I save. I save better. I keep a cleaner home. You know what I'm saying? My thought process on the longevity or how to keep good longevity of life and stability is just so different that it's better, right? Everybody sees it. Friends of her family sees it. Friends of my family see it, and it's like, but no, you're a man. You can't do that. You can't have those kids. It's a
I
no
mean, I
go.
don't. It doesn't matter how many bullet points. One of the things that you will realize over time is that there is no clear cut way in which we approach life, and that is kind of what led to myself
Mm,
jumping out to this place where I'm at. It kind of what led to you because you come to the realization that um, you can't do anything for anyone else until you do for yourself, and that
mm.
so much ground. Some people they think of it in terms of like, well, you can't take care of a woman financially until you are in a financial position to take
You
care
can
of her.
take care of yourself.
Can't take care of a woman or a
You can't
significant other
love a woman.
mentally until you yourself love yourself. That applies across the board.
They
It
say that, but when you really think about it, as long as to me, you have communication, compassion, and you're prepared to compromise, there's nothing that your squad shouldn't be able to do. And here
right.
I spent 20 years compromising without getting no compromise back. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? You
And you
know?
remember, we're hearing your side of the story, so we can,
Correct. He said, she
we're
said,
hearing your
God
side
said.
of the story. Right, right.
Correct.
So, but so we're
Well, I mean, I'm guessing everybody can see my background. I'm in a hotel room because I had to go pick up my 16-year-old child because her mama didn't put her out because she want to work and have her own money, and her mama taking her daggone. I mean, I'm doing too much. I'm doing too much. This ain't for
you're not doing too
doing too
much.
much.
I
Some
can
things we
tell.
black man, we Negroes. We supposed to keep some
Right.
of this stuff in the cup. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
no. Anybody that has a fourth grade education can tell that there's obviously a lot on a brother's mind, and that part is very clear. So let's not, and sometimes, even in our conversations, we're like bursting at the seams because it's hard even staying on topic because there's just so much going on. And as Negroes, we sometimes don't have outlets. Now we've chosen this to be, one of our outlets. Sometimes we just don't have people to talk to. We don't have someone or something or to be able to express ourselves. So we're using this opportunity to do that. Um,
Grandpapa told me nothing is more hated than a hurt Negro. A hurt Negro man. Nothing is more hated. It seems like we're not meant to be heard or listened to through our hurt and pain. You had the Men Too movement. You had all these little different movements where it's like men are just trying to say their piece, right? And be heard by other men and be like, look, you're not the only one. I'm going through this too. I remember a dude I ran into, he had triplets by a woman, and she left all those kids with him, right? Jumped and went to a whole nother state. And we're in our early 20s, right? We're talking about 21, 23. And daggone, we're delivery drivers. I have a trade. I'm working my trade because my child is coming on the way. So I'm a welder at the time for Norfolk Southern. And daggone, yeah, somebody told me, say, you always had a good job. But I'm a delivery pizza driver for a little joint called Chanelos. And he's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I got these kids, and they won't even let me be the sole guardian of them, and I've had them for 4 years. How does that even exist, bro?
Oh man,
How
man.
does
There's horror stories out here, bro. There's horror stories out here. Um, a dear, a close friend, associate, family member of mine is dealing with that currently with a young man who, the system is just like, hey, either we take him.
mm,
What's going
mm,
on? I don't know why I got knocked off. Okay, either we take him, this person takes him, but we're not leaving him with you. And this person is perfectly capable and has been taking care of this young man for years, but the system is not structured in a way to um,
allow it to even acknowledge it to, like, what's the word for it? Like, it needs to be a phrase for this. Like
and we want to be, we don't want to make broad generalizations, but we want to speak from our personal experiences of what we're dealing with. And, you know, the system, but then I say it all the time, the system in general, this world, and if you're a spiritual person, you understand that this world is not, it's not structured for your success. You have to raise above it. If you allow yourself to wallow in what this world consists of, it's not made for your success. It's not made for your happiness. It's not made for all of that. It's not supposed to be. But your spiritual basis and your spiritual foundation is where that is at. And once that is in order, the world is yours. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's
prayer is what I leaned on. You asked me earlier.
yeah,
Prayer is what I lean on a lot to get through everything that I was going through. Prayer and the relationships that I have, the female relationships that I have with, and I hate to say it very directly, but women that I don't know how to say it.
close
Women that
friends.
cater to me. No, women that see me as the individual that I wish I was, the person that I don't see myself as. Like you might as well say a cheerleader, but I mean we look at so many good things and attributes that people can have as negatives, right? So like, yeah, like I have a woman now that's like an awesome fucking cheerleader, right? She's like, yeah, you do this, you knock this out. I see you doing this. Why is she being so stupid with this, that, and the third? I bet you're gonna get your daughter. You know what I'm saying? I'm praying to get my daughter, but like we talked about it, I didn't pray for it the right way in the right situation. So I got her now. You know, got to work on some more kids and get them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I got him. And it was just really all prayer, to be honest with you, the most high, the great I am, the great benefactor. I mean, I'm benefiting.
And I'm definitely praying for you on a daily basis. We talk outside of here, and I'm asking, how things going with her. How's things just going in general, because we need that. We need that, and know that I'm always here for you anytime. Pick up the phone, or even if you want to text, just throw me a little something. If you need that, because that as brothers, we need that. We need to make that. We need to normalize that. I don't have any problem, saying that if you as a friend need me, or if I need you,
Yeah, fact. Yeah. Bro
you know,
love, bro love. Yeah, yeah.
I have no issues with that whatsoever. Man, we have done 45 minutes.
Quick and easy.
It's been an excellent start, and I'm hoping that we were able to kind of touch some areas of interest for those that may be watching. And I'm looking forward to us doing this again, like soon.
Yeah,
Like
you
really,
need to get me on your entrepreneurial journey too next time, man. You got on me, but
we're
I
talking
know
about that
COVID
because
hit you. I
yeah,
know
yeah,
that all of that. Like, yeah,
we
we'll
don't we
have
gonna
to get
talk
that.
about all that because look, I thought that when I ventured into this thing, it was gonna be about me saying, going, yo, look at me, look at me, look at me, but you know, I'm trying to find myself in others. I'm trying to find myself in others and find common ground and healthy medium so we can have good dialogue and hopefully somebody walks away with something that could be beneficial to them. I'm gonna have plenty of time to talk about myself, and definitely we're gonna tap into entrepreneurship. We're gonna tap into all of that as time goes on. And man, I appreciate you being here, bro. We've
Man, I
been trying to
appreciate you.
do it, and we're gonna do it again real soon. So on that note, this has been another Conserve Your Energy. Mr. Adasa sitting here with the Mad Black Man. Anything you want to say before we zip out of
Nah,
here?
we good, man. Peace and love to all y'all. Y'all have a blessed one.
Yeah.